This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. This is Postmates Advanced Training. With this series of videos, I am soliciting people to start Postmates. Put me down as a person who referred you. If you're successful, I get some type of bonus, incentive, financial reward. I did find it in writing today in an email, but it's vague. It doesn't say how. Obviously, if you start and you do one delivery and never have your second, I would get nothing. So it's vague. It doesn't say how long you have to stay, and it doesn't say how much I would earn. But nonetheless, I did find it in writing, and I am motivated to do these videos even without that potential financial reward. This makes it even a little sweeter. I am now ready to tell my traumatic event of yesterday. So I'm going down a road the wrong way, one-way traffic north. I'm going south. And so I go up on the sidewalk. I end up, there's a van parked in the street, and the sidewalk narrows, I guess, because the man and his dogs, two men and their dogs, they had like 5 dogs. And I ended up, trying to get my way through, not push my way through by any means. And they blocked me, and claimed it was because of the bicycle. There's a jogger coming the other way. The jogger got to pass. It opened a little bit. I said, I'm going through. I pushed my bicycle through. Now, I had my ass on the seat, but my feet were on the ground, not on the pedals, gently going forward. The dog scurried in among my wheels, and one of the men erupted. I had my back against the wall and hand on my throat. I was frightened. I was shook. I was emotional in the time after. I was traumatized at the moment. The only credit I give myself is not fighting back. I was able, I think it's my nature, not any good thinking at the time, to fight. I mean, this guy would have bloodied me. He was a vagrant, homeless, camping there as part of this homeless campment, but he was not weak. So this is not the real ailing homeless that is more typical of homeless. It was a terrible event. I was upset. I wrote about it today, and I got past it, which is kind of how I get past every event of my life. The lesson for me is not to stay off the sidewalk, because I'm going to continue to ride on the sidewalk. And it is not to stop flapping my mouth, because I'm going to continue to flap my mouth and engage with people that are being unfair to me. However, what I did that I regret is I failed to see this encampment as anyone's property. It's not. It belongs to the city of New York. But there are homeless encampments in New Jersey and New York that I would just not, I would respect them as private property. I would not go near them like I did with this. So I just misjudged the situation. They are camping in a vehicle, and the vehicle obviously moves from time to time because the city would tow it. So they've obviously got some dance around the parking restrictions of the street, the avenue. I think it was Varick near Canal. So anyways, I was very upset about it until, and I also had food from Jack's wife, Freda, that I was taking to Canal near something. It was terrible. So I just couldn't get past it, couldn't tell the story last night. I wrote about it this morning, and I came reconciled with it emotionally. Fear is a weird thing. I am afraid of sharks. I'm not afraid of terrorists. Go figure. I am no longer afraid of this. I was last night. I thought, God, this is just a violent, random attack. But when I came to understand what my part of it was and how I could not be so foolish next time, I got past it. And writing is part of my gig. So anyways, that's the end of the victim of assault. It was scary. I'm glad I'm past it. Coffee this morning. Lemonade is a blog post. Justice served. This is my blog post on the subject. This is my setup to do some telemarketing. I had to go to Brooklyn. This describes that I was there. And then all of a sudden I turned my attention, not until almost 5 p.m. I decided to get on the schedule. Listeners who are, and I know I've had some interaction with the Twitter ID, Brolio. He's I believe a young man who, I know he's a man, I believe he's young. He's servicing people with Postmates via bicycle in Minneapolis. So I've exchanged text with him through some of the internet stuff. He's a little worried about the scheduling. Brolio, or anyone in any other market other than New York, you might not have reason to be worried about the scheduling. Please note, 4:47, I've got 2 hours. I got those at that moment. I opened it up, they were available, I clicked. I got 6 to 7. Again, it's almost 5. I can't get 5. I tried to, couldn't get 5. I got 6 to 7 and 7 to 8 right there at the moment. I just clicked on. It's less than an hour. It's an hour and 13 minutes away, and I got it, 6 to 7. I also got 7 to 8. Okay, 4:47. 2 minutes later, I tried to get that hour, and it was already. I tried to get the next hour. I guess it doesn't show up on Twitter. I tried to get this hour, 8 to 9. But as you can see, someone beat me to it. Okay, no big deal. That was 2 minutes later. Then, what is that? 3 minutes later, I get it. I can see that it's pink. Listeners, if you were to go to Twitter and click on this, see right here, twitter.com/nearlink, and if you go to Twitter and click on that, you would see that I got the hour, and then I move on. So look at this. 4:52 minus where I started, 4:47. So that's 5 minutes. I get the 3 hours that I wanted with less than an hour away. So Brolio or anyone else who's anxious about this scheduling, I have a sense New York City is competitive for scheduling given the balance of Postmates people and the amount of jobs. So because, Brolio, you were kind of worried about it, I have a feeling nobody warned you about it. I have a feeling nobody warned you about it in Minneapolis because there's nothing to worry about. Like in Phoenix, they just click, they get an hour. It's that easy. There's no one competing for it like in New York. At least a couple months ago there wasn't. So anyways, even in New York, where I know it's more competitive than Arizona based on an account of Steve, a fellow I talked to, inspired by the conversation was prompted by these videos. And also in Minneapolis, just because Brolio had done some significant investigation, I believe, including orientation, and he really didn't know about the scheduling problem. I have a feeling he didn't know about it because in Minneapolis it's not a problem. So other listeners, if you're in a market where it is competitive and it compares to New York, on this occasion I was able to get 3 hours that I wanted in 5 minutes. So it's really not that bad for last-minute grabs. This I took for some reason, but I don't know where I am. This is at, I don't know. So then I go online, and I get these 2 order assignments. I go to Mimi Ching's. They don't have, Mimi Ching's has dumplings, and the delivery assignment had dumplings. These are the, Asian pork dumplings. Although I don't think Mimi Ching's is Chinese inspired. Maybe I'm wrong. Mimi Chen's. Now that I see it, it looks more Chinese. I thought it was kind of Vietnamese. Whatever the case, they're Chinese pork dumplings. And Along with it was the soup. Well, they don't have the soup. I called the customer. She said, no problem. I still want the dumplings. You don't want to cancel? No, I don't want to cancel. I'll take the dumplings. Seconds later, my card is swiped. I have my receipt. I have the dumplings. The dumplings came 4 minutes later. I'm out the door, hit the sidewalk. Phone rings. It's fleet support. The woman canceled. So she changed her mind, told me yes, told fleet support no. Listeners, this is my opinion about fleet support. They're too nice. This man was, oh, she wants to cancel. Well, minutes before she told me she wanted them. So why she gets off the hook on, not paying for these and Postmates eats it. I ate them. Postmates eats the price for it. I think it's a little overly generous, but whatever. It's not my business. Here's an email that came about weekend crushing. This is the call that I took. So at 7:02, I got a call from fleet support. No. 7:02, I did a screen grab. My phone says it's 5 minutes before. So that's 7. That's 6. Why can't I do that math? 6:57. 6:57. And here I got it at 6:52. So this all happened very fast. Between 6:52 and 6:57, she says she wants them. I pay. I get the dumplings, and I get a call to cancel. All happened in however many minutes that it was. Just a few. So great. I'm on to my next delivery. The fleet support person said, wait, I'm going to call. She said cancel. I'm moving on. So I did. I went on my delivery assignment here. And there's that meeting, my dumplings. Thank you, Mimi's. And by the way, this happened to me twice. The first time I ended up with vegan ice cream was not thrilling. However, I love these things. And they're fried Chinese pork dumplings. Awesome. So I was also hungry. This was great. And there's Mimi deliveries has been canceled. I get paid $3.82. And listeners, I'm clicking on this. The screen will probably go blank. But this bottom one right here, this is my tweets from Fleet Support. This is my tweets from Postmates National. It says, utensils and saucers are already in the package. Do not grab extras. So this is the first time I've seen that note. That seems to be attached to Mimi's. Mimi's, if you apply logic, Mimi's must have gotten pissed off to say, we put the utensils in the bag and your Postmates people grab extras. Tell them to stop. Well, we're told over and over again, don't forget straws, don't forget utensils, don't forget condiments, don't forget napkins. And then this is the first time I've seen, but don't get carried away is effectively what they're saying. I thought it was kind of funny. First time I've seen it. And 2 new tweets. These are payouts of today. I only did 2. I had 2 deliveries. I only did 1. The other one was canceled. That second one was canceled. And so there's Mimi Chan's. I got $382. The other one was canceled. I got nothing. That's my whole day. Total earnings to date, career to date, $18.65, 25 cents. Total deliveries, $241. My wife is away. And there is an incentive to work this weekend. You can get a bonus if you do as many as 25 deliveries. That's way more than I've done in a 24-hour period. Whew! So 35 gets the high-level bonus, which I think is $500. I can't imagine doing that many deliveries. But people do it. And people do earn the bonus. I've seen the email that claims they've earned the bonus. Awesome. Bravo. I don't know how many I'll get. To date, my daily record is, I think, 11. That's 11. So 11 to 25 is a huge gap. I don't know if I'll get there. I don't think I'm serious enough. I don't think I'm fast enough. But I'm glad to know some people are. They're obviously killing it. I'm not. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. you'll find the correct spelling of the Payments Puppet. You then combine Tom Duty and a Google search from my site. Thank you for... I didn't share my screen. I did it again. I didn't share my screen. Listeners, terribly sorry. If you listen to my audio, go to my Twitter page. You can repeat the whole thing. I do think that Mimi's thing is really interesting for those of you that are doing Postmates, and especially if you're worried about the schedule. Tonight's schedule tweets really illustrates. I've done this 2 nights in a row, and I'm really pissed. All I have to do is click. It shares my screen, and I forgot. 2 nights in a row. I'm a little distracted. My wife's gone. So, listeners, that's probably the most valuable thing I did tonight. If you're worried about the schedule thing, and if you're like me, don't grab extra utensils compared to the prevailing message we have. Don't forget forks. Don't forget condiments. Don't forget napkins. Don't forget straws. And now we have Mimi's. Don't take too much. It gets a little wacky. Tom Duty, have a good evening, a restful night's sleep. Ciao.